Welcome to another episode of Chasing Mysteries Gardens. I'm Rebecca, and along with my wife Karen, we are on a mission to renovate and rejuvenate our little piece of earth. It is only about 6:30 and it is dark outside already. So as you can see, you can't really see. So that means we're going to turn to indoor projects that we can do during the winter in the evenings when it's completely dark outside. I have been thinking about just different products that I buy and how it affects me and my family. There's a lot of talk about things not being available. You know, we had the whole toilet paper fiasco of 2020 where you could not buy toilet paper. And even in the stores right now, we're seeing that some things just are not readily available. And those things that used to be there or that are there are just jacked up in price. So one of the things that I've been trying to do with canning is not necessarily just to grow a year's worth of food, because my little suburban garden is never going to do that unless I pretty much garden the entire backyard. What I want to try to do is just control what I can, the products that I use the most. So we use a lot of potatoes. We use a lot of pumpkin. We use a lot of beans because I love beans. So those things are things that I can concentrate on to grow as much as I can to line our shelves, because we use those all year. Other things I've noticed in the stores that either they're too expensive to buy anymore, or I can't find it, or I don't like the ingredients that are in it. And that is what I'm going to focus on today, one of those things. So I was at the grocery store the other day, and I noticed that chicken bouillon is either there and it's expensive, or it's not there. So there are some stores that you can go to. You can buy those cubes at the Dollar Tree, the cube bouillon that you just dissolve in water. There's another product called Better Than Bouillon, and I actually have some right here. And this is more of a paste that you add to water. But the price of this Better Than Bouillon is just going through the roof. So I decided to do some research and see if there was some sort of alternative that I could make that A, is better for us, and B, the products might be a little more readily available that I can make it, and see about making something a little healthier for my family. Right here, I have two examples of chicken bouillon. This is the cubes, and this is the Better Than Bouillon paste. So both of these, they're okay. They taste okay. The price is not what I like. But what I noticed is that there's pretty much nothing good. See all those zeros? There's nothing good in this. And when I read the label, the first ingredient is salt, and the second ingredient is sugar. Now, you wouldn't think that sugar would be in chicken bouillon, but it is. It is also in this one. I mean, this one's first ingredient is actually roast chicken, so that's better, but again, cane sugar and salt. So this one has 0 vitamin D, 0 calcium, 0 iron, 0 potassium, zero fiber, it's zero fat, which is good, zero cholesterol, okay, zero protein. So again, it's just, you're just adding salt and sugar to your meals to make it taste like a chicken broth. This one, again, the better than bouillon. Here, I'll show it to you. It's like a pasty. It's delicious and it works wonders. I actually prefer over the cubes. But again, there's very little protein, 1 gram of protein. They don't even list vitamins or minerals on here at all, which tells me that there's zero because there's nothing on the label. So there's probably very, very little of anything in this. So the alternate, or I'm going to mimic making chicken bouillon by making a chicken bouillon powder using spices and something called nutritional yeast. Oh, I left the price tag on. So this is large flake nutritional yeast, and nutritional yeast is deactivated yeast. So it is yeast like you find in bread, but it is deactivated, so it's basically not alive anymore. And they make it into like a cream, and then they dry that cream out, and it becomes this flaky nutritional yeast. So vegans and vegetarians use this as seasoning. They use it to make various items such as a cheese that doesn't contain any dairy. And there's many things that you can do with this nutritional yeast. So it's got a really like cheesy kind of flavor to it, but it's not cheese, if that makes sense. So we're going to trick ourselves into thinking that this is chicken by adding a bunch of different spices to this. The nice thing about this nutritional yeast is that it contains so many vitamins and minerals in this. There's vitamin B12. There's 8 grams of protein per serving of this. I mean, a serving is a quarter cup, so you kind of have to use a lot to get that 8 grams, but it's still in there, unlike the other things. What else is in here? Let's see. Thiamine, potassium, riboflavin, niacin, vitamin B6, folate, and vitamin B12. So there are way more vitamins in this. And I'm not saying that this is healthy. I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you that this is going to, cure you of anything because you take all these vitamins. But I'm just telling you that this has it and this doesn't. So one of the good things about having all these vitamins and minerals in this is that it is a antiviral, antibiotical immune booster. So just like chicken soup can help boost your immune system when you're feeling sick, so can this. I'm not saying it's going to cure you. Again, I'm not a doctor. So we need the nutritional yeast. The other ingredients that we need are garlic powder, black pepper, onion powder, basil, oregano, and rosemary. And then you can or you don't have to use salt. So I am going to put some salt in this because I want to make it according to the actual recipe before I start playing around with it and taking things out and adding other things. So this right here is the exact recipe that I found on the internets. So it's actually from joyfilledeats.com. So the reason why my spices are in these little tubs is because I get my spices in bulk. Well, technically this is not bulk, but the store that I shop at buys everything in bulk, and then they portion it out into these smaller tubs. So for example, this is 0.10 pounds of rosemary, and then it is I mean, it says $13.59 a pound on here, but you need a lot. Again, this right here is 0.1, so you need 10 times this to make an actual pound. So that's a lot of rosemary. And then it actually ends up being cheaper than if you were just to buy it in the store like this. So for this recipe, you need quite a bit of spices. So that is why I opted to buy them like this at the store. It does have a very cheesy smell to it. So you need 2 cups of this, which I think is going to be this entire package. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's going to be this entire package. And you know what? Actually, I think if I add the whole thing, I'm not going to have room for my other spices. So I'm going to do this in two sections. So that was 1 cup of the nutritional yeast. So then I need, oh, let's just try to do it all. This might not work. This might be a mess. Oh yeah. Okay. Take 2. Because everything won't fit into the Ninja at one time, I am going to put it in this bowl first and then do everything in steps. So this is 2 cups of the nutritional yeast, and it does have a very cheesy smell to it. Let's just taste a little bit. Oh yeah. Yeah, I could totally see how this would be something used to make cheese. That's good. Then we need a 1/4 cup each of rosemary, oregano, basil, onion powder, garlic powder, 1/3 cup of salt, and I use pink Himalayan salt, and 2 tablespoons of black pepper. Let's give this a mix. So already you can see how it kind of has the look of chicken bouillon. It smells like chicken bouillon. So I want this to be a little bit finer. This is probably perfectly fine to use. It is a little flaky, but I want it to be a little more ground up so that when I go to make it, it dissolves more in the water. So we're just gonna put some of this in here. Put the lid on, put this on, and then just zhuzh. Whoop. Why isn't it working? Sometimes if you don't have the blade in just right, it won't spin for you. Oh, it would help if it was plugged in. Story of my life. Oh yeah. So it really took it down in size. You can still see the rosemary leaves in there, still a little big. They kind of sit on the top. But it's way smaller than it used to be. I'm going to scoop some of this into my jar. So I went ahead and I put the recommended serving size is 1 tablespoon per 8 ounces of water. So I added that in, and it looks like I added spices to water. It doesn't really smell like chicken bouillon. Wow. That tastes like chicken bouillon. Oh, that is so good. Sorry, I got rosemary in my throat. That is so good, you guys. It's a little strong if you're going to be using it for cooking, then and adding other liquid, then it might be okay. But this one is a teaspoon. Isn't it fun watching me stir? This to me tastes like this. So it's still got that nice chicken flavor, but it's a little milder. So if you're looking to make a cup of soup or just have some broth, I would definitely go with just a teaspoon. So let me do the math really quick. So I got 32, the recipe said that it would get 64 tablespoons, and I only got 32. So I don't know if they doubled it and didn't change the number of servings or what, but so 32 times 3 would be 96 servings. So that is amazing. 96 servings. So I will be right back. I'm going to do the math on how much this cost me to do and see if it is cost effective to do this. The taste is there. It's super easy to make. Now let's just see if it's cost effective. So it turns out that this indeed is the most cost effective way to do it. So it cost me about $9.56 to make this jar. And I know that it depends on the cost of ingredients. You could actually bring that price down if you bought the nutritional yeast in bulk, but I was just trying this for the first time, so I just bought what I could find. I will do more research and see if I can buy it in bulk at a cheaper price. Again, the spices, I have enough spices in here to do this recipe at least 3 more times. So if I had the nutritional yeast to make this, it would be even more cost effective. So this jar was about 10 cents per serving if you use the teaspoon. If you use a quarter of a tablespoon, which is even less than a teaspoon, then your price is about 7 cents. Again, the more you use, the more the per serving price is going to go up. So the better than bouillon was about $6 in my grocery store, and that would yield about 16 cents per serving. And this was about $3 in my grocery store, and for this jar, it would be about 12 cents per serving. So we're not talking about saving dollars here. We're talking about saving cents, but every little bit counts. Every cent counts when it comes to the things that you make. You want it to, be cost effective for you. So I know that you can buy this stuff for $1 at, the dollar stores. I don't think you get as many cubes in the container. So the price might vary with that. So if you are looking for a cheap way, then yeah, go ahead and go to the Dollar Tree and buy this for $1. If you are looking for a way to make a healthier alternative, something that tastes just as great, but doesn't have, this does have salt in it, but it doesn't have like extra coloring, or let's see, this has sunflower oil and honey and sulfuric acid, and the only spice in this is dehydrated parsley. There's hydrolyzed corn protein. Like, these are just things that you don't need in your diet. So if you can find an alternative way, I am all for that. I am super happy with this. This is beyond my expectations. It really is. It will 100% be in my cupboard from now until I no longer cook. The nice things about this is that you're adding spices, you're adding herbs to your food instead of, there's not really chemicals in there, but there's just stuff. And this is adding visible, yummy, dried herbs. And next year, I hope to be able to grow more herbs, and then maybe it'll be even more cost effective because I will have grown everything myself. And now that I've made it according to the recipe, I can play around with taking out some of the salt. I could add some turmeric. It would give it a more yellow color. This is really yellow because the nutritional yeast was yellow, but it would give it a more orangey golden hue to it. And because there's black pepper, there's health benefits in adding the turmeric to that. So there's different things that I can try with this, and it's amazing. I can't wait to use it in soups, and I have some stew recipes, and I actually use this for a number of chicken dishes that I make. So I'm really excited to put this on my shelf and have this available to use. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more. And please tell all of your friends about this video. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you are. Please share this video. And as always, Suki Suki. Love the earth, love yourself, love each other. Till next time.